Hey, folks. Some people get to monetize their trauma and their misery, and I'm trying to do that too. But you just have to have the right kind of content. I mean, some people pick up right away. They really do. I mean, Raymond picked up in just a few months. He monetized. I know you have to post every day, and maybe that's my problem. I'm not constantly just saying the same things every day. Not the exact same things, right? I'm not picking on Raymond. And then, there's this other guy, the Seamus Spurd, who just started posting his racist opinion content and, like, it exploded just overnight. Already monetized in, like, a month. And it's very interesting that I guess I shouldn't expect to take off that fast. You have to have the right vibe. You have to have the right information, the right kind of thing that resonates with people. And honestly, the stranger you are, oh, there's my quail again. The stranger you are, the more obscure your content will be. And it's fine. I'm not like, oh, it's not fair. No, life isn't fair. I know that. You have to resonate with people. You don't. I'm just frustrated because, all right, so I used to work in 2023. I had worked for a mail order pharmacy. That isn't a mail order pharmacy, technically, but it is. Yeah, that sounds like a mind fuck. Well, it kind of is. And I had the good fortune for me, but not for someone else. Someone else had a medical event. Again, I have to respect HIPAA. And I took the job taking care of them because I hated my job so much. I didn't fit into their corporate culture. It was absolutely miserable place to work for. Even though I got to work from home, it was just a nightmare. And at first, it was a relief. I didn't have to get up and work for this corporation all day, every day. I got to heal from a little bit of emotional trauma. I got cut back my drinking from, 6 to 8 shots a day back to like one a day. When I mean one, it's like one tall boy, which is, it's about 2 drinks. And then even I have days where I don't drink. But the financial stress of doing this job, because the job is it's technically part time. The hourly rate is great, but it's part time, and it would have been fine if I didn't have emergencies come up, but the emergencies just broke me. Car repairs being the big thing, and then of course, one of my cats, in his old age, began to die, and I couldn't wait for my vet to be open. I had to take him to the ER vet, and that just financially broke me. And so, I have a side gig where I mow a few lawns. I'm doing it at an affordable price. And my lawnmowers keep breaking down, and I keep having to get them repaired, and it's just eating up my profits. In fact, I don't have any profits. I'm taking a friggin' loss on it. And I'm going out next week to try to sell karaoke, and I am not a charming person. Even if I could be, I wouldn't want to be, because there's certain ways you can manipulate other people. I've done a video about this, about salesmanship. It's a certain way to manipulate people to circumvent their free will, to circumvent their rational ability to say no. And I don't like doing that to people. It's wrong. Even if I could I wouldn't do it. Which means, yes, that's choosing failure over success when success is achieved in an immoral way. And just explaining that to anyone in my life boggles their minds. It goes over their heads. Like, what? We're in America. You're supposed to make money, and that's it. Just go. Whatever works. Right? As long as you get a yes, and they sign the paperwork, who cares how you got to yes? And everyone else is doing it. You need to do it too, right? They try to fuck you. You try to fuck them, and the mutual fucking over balances out, and then you make your money. And I can't do that. I won't do that, even if I could do that. So my sales pitch is really just a question of I go into the place, talk to the owner or the manager, and say, introduce myself and say, when you keep me in mind, if you ever want to do karaoke at your bar, I think it'd be a great place for it. Give them a card, shake their hand, be polite, smile, and walk away. Go out to the next place. And just plant that seed. Go around, plant the seed. And I should have done this back when I took the caretaker job. I should have planted that seed in dozens of restaurants, so that way when I come back, a year later and try again, like, oh yeah, I remember you. Yeah, we do live music sometimes. I think karaoke would be good, right? So I didn't do that, so I'm reaping the reward of inaction, of not constantly hustling. And now that I am hustling, at least as far as mowing grass, and it's been really hard because up in at least where I am, the northeastern part of the U.S. in New Hampshire, it's just raining all the time. Like today, it's not raining. It was supposed to have thunderstorms today, and it's not. Like I put off my mowing all week till Friday and Saturday, and I'm gonna have to hustle. And I have one of my two mowers is out of commission, and it really causes me anxiety because if a mower breaks down, I'm done. I'm screwed. And the other one's at the repair shop, and I'm waiting to hear back from the shopkeeper as to how much it's going to cost to repair it and whether or not he can repair it. And I have a batch of quail. I have 10, and I think there's only 5 females. So I get another 5 egg layers soon, within a couple months. Within like a month from now, they'll start laying. And so I can actually try to sell some eggs, but it's a micro income. I mean, most people don't want to eat quail eggs. If they're going to get eggs, they're going to buy chicken eggs. And where I'm at, people are selling a dozen chicken eggs for like $4 to $5. These are like farm, homestead chicken eggs. And quail eggs, I couldn't sell for any less than 3. And that includes the cost of the tray, of the dozen egg tray. And those are like, even if you buy them in bulk, they're like 30 to 40 cents a piece. So if I actually sell for $3, I'm making $2.50 a dozen. Let's just say that. And I'm learning to hustle, but I'm hustling with no capital to work with and just time running out. So like I said in the previous video, I'm going to go out and try to sell karaoke. And next week's the big week where I go and I'm going to hit about 10 places in one region of the state. And then I'm going to go somewhere else. I'll go in another direction and another direction, until I get about, hopefully 40 or 50 places. And hopefully one of them pays off. Because if it doesn't, I'm just screwed. I'm going to have to go back to work. And I don't want to do that. What I mean by go back to work, I take a regular job. Probably night shift, because that's the only thing compatible with taking care of my client, which I committed to. I didn't have to commit to do this, all right? I could have... this person had a relative living with them. I'm speaking carefully here because of HIPAA. And that person wanted to marry somebody. And I said, okay, I'll do the job. You go get married and live your life. So I did it. I took the job. I've made my bed. Now I have to lay in it. I understand that. But the bed is just miserable to lay in, and I'm struggling to find a way out of it. And the only way I can think of is to work night shift, which sucks. I'm old now. I'm in my mid-40s. It's not like in my 20s when I worked night shift and it was fun and I had plenty of energy and sleep wasn't that big of a deal. Now it is. I'm old and I have sleep apnea and just staying up late at night just sucks. And I'm feeling the pressure. Like, I got debts I have to pay. And, most people are like, so what? Everybody has debt. Who cares? And you know what? I understand that attitude. And some people have the attitude like, well, screw the credit card companies. I do what I got to do to survive. And who cares? But I think it's important to pay your debts. I borrowed money from an institution. I understand these institutions create money out of thin air. They use debt as a collateralized asset to lend out even more, to create even more money. And it's a rigged game. But nonetheless, I did borrow some of those units of exchange, and I intend to pay them back. I mean, I'm open to someone convincing me that I don't need to be concerned about paying my debts because it's all, a Ponzi scheme anyways. But I don't see a way out of doing it. Not with a clean conscience. And not like I want to pay these debts, but the intellect I have that informs my conscience says I should pay my debts. And it's going to suck because, okay, I could take a job and I'd have to work full time for, say, 6 months to a year, maybe 2 years. So I can then build up a cash reserve. And I know we're heading towards probably a hyperinflationary period where they demolish the dollar. Quote around where the dollar falls apart, it loses its value, and some sort of emergency communism in the form of the digital currency is implemented. And that's a whole nother problem to deal with when that comes up. But until then, I have to, pay my debts. And I have to have money just to keep the car fixed, to deal with incidental emergencies. I have one more cat from the original 4 I adopted who's going to be old and die in the next probably couple years. And if she has, a crisis, I need to be able to take her in, have her euthanized humanely. And then I have 2 cats I adopted from someone else, the relative of my client who left to go get married. I have those cats, so I have to take care of them too. Right? I know, no one forced me to do that, right? I could have said, well, I'm not taking care of your cats, give them to someone else. I could have said that. I didn't. You can do the right thing, what you think is the right thing, but it doesn't feel good. It would be nice if I got that sort of emotional reward for following my conscience, but I don't. It's an intellectual acknowledgement. I feel like, if you're familiar with Star Trek The Next Generation, I feel like Commander Data executing an ethical program. And the only emotional feedback he gets from it is frustration, anger, despair, and disgust. But he still does the ethical program because it is the right thing to do. And that's how I feel. And I try to cheer myself up by looking at positive things. Like I like going out in the woods and I like seeing the trees and the flowers. The wildflowers are beautiful. And you look at these little quails pecking around, living their little lives, taking dirt baths right there. There's the dirt bath. And I give them their treats and their food. And it's supposed to make me feel better, but I don't feel better. And I got a show tonight. And I'm hoping enough people come because I'm getting paid condition upon whether or not they're busy. Whether they actually generate, enough revenue to pay me. So this is a conditional thing, and it's fine. I'm not complaining about that arrangement. I agreed to it. I had this vision that I could, work the caretaker job and then string together several micro incomes. The lawn mowing here and some quail eggs there, and then a karaoke show here and there. Some sort of regular karaoke show, and then hopefully put together enough money to survive. But it's not enough. I know I'm in the early stages of it. Maybe I need to be patient. I need to keep at it, soldier. Keep plugging away. That irrational American optimism, I don't have it. The irrational American optimism that I see people opening up restaurants and stuff, even now, even in our decline, there's people opening up new restaurants and new businesses, and hey, there's another auto shop opened up, and another this and another that, and there's a place that does cookies and a place that does barbecue sauce and whatever. Like, the irrational optimism, I get. It, you're not going to fail for lack of trying if you keep plugging away. You might fail for other reasons, but not for lack of trying. And I know my parents always told me growing up, like, do your best. That's all we expect of you. I'm like, okay, do your best. That's usually the cry of the person who failed. Like, well, I did my best, right? It's the consolation prize. I did my best. It's the cope of the person who fails. I understand. They didn't want me to fail for lack of trying. But also, there's the adage that there's always room for improvement. So, did you do your best? Well, yes, but no, because there's always something better than what I did. So, you never can stop grinding. You never can stop hustling. The two are in conflict. Because there's always better than your best. You can always do better. You can always, if you're out of ideas, you could sit there unproductively trying to think of something else. At least you're spending the time trying to think of something else, even though you can't fathom anything else. So yeah, I reached the point where the more stable thing to do, as much as I hate it, because I hate working nights, it would put me up 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, would be work night shift, come home, take care of the client, and then sleep. I still have to feed the animals, take care of these quails, and package up the eggs, try to put them out for sale, and then try to get some sleep. During the day, black out the windows, and then get up, feed the client dinner, go back to bed, nap for another hour or two, if possible. I think the anxiety would drive me nuts. And then go back to work on night shift. And that's it. I don't know what else to do. I feel like time is running out. I feel like, here I am, it's 2025. I feel like there's going to be some catalyzing event that's going to just make economic, political, life, social situation worse. I mean, a lot of people have been anticipating it. I'm anticipating it. And yet I have to keep plugging along like it's not going to happen because you don't know when that's going to play out. So you have to act like it's not going to happen. I have the irrational optimism that tomorrow is always going to be better and life's only get better and better and better, even though it's just not true. Because that's all I have to say. Thank you for listening.